Reporting politics editor at Politico, David Siders. David, you spent a lot of time in Wisconsin talking to voters, party officials, activists. What surprised you most?
I think the degree of recognition that abortion would be such a problem for the party, but then beyond that, a recognition that there's not a great way out. There's not an easy fix here for the party because you have this division between people who are maybe think that adding some exceptions to an abortion ban or changing the number of weeks might help, but then this very hardline part of the party that's committed to what they know is a political loser for the GOP, which is a much more stringent ban like the one on the books right now in Wisconsin.
Yeah, one of the things I found interesting about your reporting about abortion specifically in Wisconsin is really across the state, right? It was not defined by geography where it was a hot issue for voters. And I wonder the extent to which the repulsion on the part of more conservative voters had to do with it as a form of government overreach, or the extent to just practically in their day-to-day lives has said, this just isn't going to work.
I think you're probably right on both accounts. And what you point out about geography is so important, right? Because the tale of Wisconsin has a lot to do with what's going on around Madison and Dane County and the explosion of the youth vote there, which definitely happened. But you could wipe Dane County off the map and the liberal-leaning candidate still would have won in that April election. Same with Milwaukee. And so I think, the biggest concern there for Republicans is what's going on in the suburbs and with conservative leaning people there who may, as you say, see like, we want hands off of this in our parts of our lives. That's the big concern for Republicans in Milwaukee.
There was something that former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker said to you. He said, Wisconsin has historically, and I think continues to be, a blue state. He saw his win there as an anomaly. How did that comport with your reporting?
It's interesting to me to hear that from Scott Walker. Part of that might become maybe some Scott Walker exceptionalism, right? That he could do things or thinks he could do things that other Republicans wouldn't. But I also think that it's a recognition that, you hear from a lot of people saying this is a purple state, and it clearly is. It's not going to be a 9 or 11 point, I guess, race in 2024, right? But what he says when he says it's a blue state speaks to, I think, how big an issue this was in the April election and the problem that Republicans acknowledge they have with statewide candidates there.